Yes. This is going to be a sit-down video, hopefully going to bring you guys a decent amount of value. I'm going to try and make it a bit more interactive, and hopefully by the end of the video you will have a better understanding of what I mean by are your actions reflecting your goals. So this is something I was thinking about earlier, and it's quite relevant in my life at the moment, and I believe it's a discussion that will bring value to your lives, especially as we head further into the year of 2021. We're currently in lockdown in the UK at the time of filming this video, but it is looking like over the next few months things are going to start opening up, and I feel this is potentially something to tackle right now and will have a really good long-term impact in the future, and to ultimately get you to where you want to be by the end of 2021. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to write down, I'm going to do it here and now as well, this is plain at the moment, at this present point in time, what things are most important to you. So whether that be goals relating to your life, business, fitness, health, etc. So pause the video. I'm going to write down what's important to me. We'll come back and talk about it. So I haven't gone into too much detail here, and these are listed in no particular order. But what I've written down is mental and physical health, loved ones, production, and entertainment to others. So now what we are going to do is establish how many hours in each day that we have available to work on things. Now, this is going to be very dependent on your lifestyle, and I know a large proportion of my audience are at university, college, they are not parents, so if you have children, then obviously the amount of time that you have at your disposal is different. However, I am predominantly aiming this at those who don't have kids, but for those that do, you will still hopefully be able to take points from this and implement it into your life. So, going to use myself as a personal example to put this into a bit of context. I have 3 hours in the morning between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. So I've got 3 hours, write it down. I then have 1 hour at lunch, and sometimes, more often than not, I'm quite fortunate that I get another 3 hours in the afternoon. I do work a 9 to 5 job, but I can usually structure my days, my workload, so that I am available to free up an hour in the afternoon. Finally, after work, I'm going to put down 3 hours because that is quite realistic for the amount of time you have after a working day. So here essentially we have 8 hours in a day. The next thing you need to write down and establish is, for you personally, when are you most productive? When are you able to pay the most attention, most efficient, and have the least disruptions? When can you give things your best, utmost attention? For me, that is in the morning. So what I do is I create a prioritization list based on my current goals and what's important to me. In what order do I want to ensure that I am implementing, or my actions are reflecting what is most important to me? Mental and physical health. This is probably the most important to me, because I believe without this, nothing else really works. You need to look after yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, in order to be happy, productive, and to achieve everything else that you're trying to. So that's where I start, and it's why I spend the first hour of every morning. I wake up, I make my bed, I meditate for 10 minutes, and I read for about half an hour to 40 minutes. Sometimes 10 minutes of stretching. So the first hour of every day is spent without fail towards that goal of mental physical health. The next most important thing to me, and the next period of time that I am most efficient, is between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. So then going down the prioritization list, learning to produce music right now at this present point in my life is what is most important to me. So I spend 1 hour from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. learning to produce music. No disruptions, I am able to give it my best attention, it's important to me, and therefore I'm getting it in at the peak time. So as you guys are going through this, it might not be producing music for you, it might be doing university work, it might be focusing on learning a new language, it might be learning to set up a business. It also might happen that this hour in the day is not your most productive time and you decide to fit something else in here, but it just happens. So for me, it is. I then, from 8 a.m. until 9 a.m, I spend about 20 minutes doing some mixing, DJing. I find that ties quite nicely into learning to produce music and comes under the same blanket for me of progressing in that passion of my life. I then spend 40 minutes, half an hour doing some weights in my garage. So under the blanket of mental and physical health, I like to train and do a workout, so it sets me up for a good day, and I usually fit in a short 20-minute walk there as well. So for me personally, the first 3 hours of every morning are my most productive hours of the day, and I've ensured, going by my goals and prioritization list, that my actions are reflecting what is most important to me. We then move on to the hour at lunch in the middle of the day. Now here I like to go for an hour-long walk. I always hit 10,000 steps a day, and the bulk of that will be hit at lunchtime in my hour walk. I sometimes listen to music, I sometimes listen to podcasts, but I also always spend 20 minutes of that walk not listening to anything. I think it's important at times to be outside on your own, even if it's just for 20 minutes a day with no audio on, just nature, and be with your own thoughts, or not with any thoughts if you're not thinking about anything. Not enough people do this, and it gets to a place where you suddenly realise you can't sit in silence, or you can't be in your own thoughts. And I think it's an important practice to get into your life to implement being outside and listening to the sounds around you. So in that time, physical, we're getting steps in, it's important to me in the middle of the day, and it gets me moving. I work a 9 till 5, so yeah, it's good to sort of get off my seat after a few hours of sitting down. The next period of time, I guess, is a bit of a bonus hour for me, and it is the hour that I said earlier that I'm able to create for myself in the afternoon. Now, what I do in this hour does actually change and is usually dictated by the day and what I have planned for that week. So something else I want to focus on is, whilst it is important to see how much free time and how many hours you have in each day, you also need to see it from a weekly point of view. So further down my list, I have entertainment to others. Now, this used to be something that was higher on my prioritization list, but as producing has come further into my life, it is moved down the list ever so slightly. For me, entertainment to others comes in the form of creating content for Instagram and creating car reviews. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you will know what I mean by that. And I'm now at a place where I'm aiming to upload 1 to 2 car reviews a week. They take about an hour and a half all in. So historically, I was uploading potentially 4 or 5 car reviews a week, taking up upwards of 7 hours of my time in each week. And now I'm sort of aiming to spend 2 hours. So if it's a day where I'm filming and editing a car review, then I will try to get this in within this bonus hour and probably finish off the editing after work. Does that mean on that day I've not prioritized what else is more important to me, i.e. producing music? No, because across the week I'm still putting more hours into producing music than I am doing car reviews, and ultimately breaking up a car review into 10 minutes each day isn't something I can do, because I need to film it in one go and I like to edit it in one go. I usually try to upload it for a specific date in relation to when the tune gets released. So if I'm not filming a car review on that day, then in this hour, if there's nothing else that I need to work on that might be further down the prioritization list, then I will fit in another hour of learning to produce music. But of course I've already done an hour in the morning, so it's almost a bit of a bonus top up. Then we get to the last 3 hours of the day, and this is where I like to actually bring things down a little bit. And I don't think it's good, to, especially when you're working a 9 till 5, to be on it in the morning, to get bits done during the day, and then after work sit down and start looking at computers and focusing on other bits. I feel that over time you end up, terminology, I don't know if I believe in the terminology, but burning out has some aspect of truth to it. So I actually tend to, after work, not really do anything that isn't relating to business stuff. I actually spend this time seeing loved ones, or going for another walk, reading, making dinner, etc. Just chilling out. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll watch YouTube for an hour. So what a typical 3 hours after work looks like for me is finish at 5 till 5:30 I shower, get changed. 5:30 till 7 I'll go for a walk with my girlfriend. We are unable to see each other inside at the moment, so for the last 2 months possibly we've just been going for a daily walk during the week, and then obviously walking on weekends, but after work for an hour and a half. So getting in more steps then, but that for me is more so to do with the time with her. Then from 7 till 8 usually cook dinner, watch a bit of YouTube, maybe that will spill over to half 8 till 9 do some reading, 9 till 9:30 wind down, go to sleep. Start again 6 a.m, or I technically wake up at 5:30, 5:45 and go the next day. So what is the overall message of this video? And essentially it's that you need to just do a bit of an analysis of your current situation and what you're currently doing each day, and just ensure that the actions you are doing reflect your goals in what is most important to you. Don't do things because you're living your life the way that you think other people are expecting you to live your life. And if changing your current setup to reflect your goals means that you might not irritate, but might get a negative vibe from people who are expecting you to act a certain way, then those aren't the sort of people you need to be surrounding yourself with. And you don't want to get to 5 years time and look back on your life and think, I lived it in a way that wasn't how I wanted to. And you need to fast forward to where you want to be in 3-5 years time, etc., arbitrary numbers, and say, okay, if by doing what I'm doing each and every day now, am I on the right path? And yeah, I just guess for me, if I was to put it into perspective for my current situation, the biggest shift comes in from toning down making car reviews and Instagram content and focusing more on the music production side of things. So let's just quickly recap. You need to first establish what your goals are and what is most important to you. Write them down in any list, in any order. Then establish an order. So once you've written them down, what is the most important things to you on that list? Allocate time of the day to those things, starting with when you're most productive to the most important prioritized goal on your list, and work your way down. Look at your week as a whole in terms of your hours and distribute certain tasks accordingly across the week, as long as overall by the end of the week you can see that the most amount of hours was spent to what's most important to you. And then finally, obviously, just make sure you're living your life by your terms and focusing on what's important to you and not what's important to other people. And ultimately that's what's going to get you to where you want to be and will help you feel like you're living your life the best way, the happiest way. That's going to make you live a fulfilling life because you're doing it the way that you want to. Hopefully that made sense, and hopefully I didn't go on too much, ramble too much on there. I know these sit down videos can sometimes be a bit visually not appealing, but it's sort of the only content I can film at the moment. I've got some sick videos planned, including 10 things I wish I knew when I started DJing, and I've got an input from other DJs from that as well. It's going to be an epic video, and this was just a really spontaneous film, and I don't think I have anything else to say. Legends for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Yes, mate.